We traveled to Mar-a-Lago today to interview the former president on his recent arrest by a Democratic prosecutor. But once we sat down, we wound up talking mostly about foreign policy. For a man who is caricatured as an extremist, we think you'll find what he has to say moderate, sensible, and wise. When we come back, Donald Trump's greatest fear for America, something we almost never talk about.
Fresh off of his interview with Donald Trump, Tucker Carlson apparently was kicked out of Mar-a-Lago and had to do his stand-up in front of the eye of some kind of hurricane showing up in Florida. So Tucker then had a bit of an interview back and forth. Everyone's been talking about it, especially the nonsensical things that were discussed during it. But you know what? One theme that continued throughout the whole thing was how Tucker showed so much fealty. He was concerned about impressing his buddy, maybe because everyone remembered these texts.
Tucker Carlson texts, "We are very, very close to being able to avoid Trump most nights. I hate him passionately." That's Tucker Carlson saying he hates Donald Trump passionately.
Well, that message was delivered directly from Mayor Lawrence O'Donnell. I hate Trump passionately. Everyone knew about this. Everyone saw it except for Fox News viewers because they definitely want to talk about this. But as this whole thing went through, the back and forth, the interviews and the questions that were asked, the one theme that definitely was happening was Tucker wanted Trump to see just how sorry he was or maybe how much he loves him. It was illustrated all over his face.
Literally, he said, "But so why? He goes, why, oh, why do you send me a picture of my house?" I said, "You'll have to figure that one out, Abdul."
He was fawning. He couldn't imagine how much better this could be. Matter of fact, I want to watch one more time, just a little closer, in case you guys missed those faces.
Literally, he said, "But so why? He goes, why, oh, why do you send me a picture of my house?" I said,
what does that mean? I want to pause here for a second, Adrian, because look, this guy, he had his stand-up, he had his back and forth. We're going to get to some of these things that they actually discussed. But again, is this switchback, or at least this look that he's looking to push, or this characterization off of the real Donald Trump and how compassionate he is this going to work?
Work for who? I really see this as Tucker Carlson really trying to reingratiate himself into the MAGA crowd because he knows that is a significant portion of his viewership. And so just giving Trump a platform would suggest that they have, made amends, and that all of the lies that that Tucker Carlson had really put out there in terms of why those text messages said what they said, that it wasn't true. And that they can believe the lies that he has really put out there. So I just, I really see this as Tucker Carlson doing his damnedest to make sure he keeps his viewership strong. And so it was just nonsense. All of
it. Yeah,
it.
Is this Fox News saying, "Hey, Tucker, we need you to do this interview so you can butter back up to Trump"? Or is it Tucker saying, "I got to do this interview so I can butter back up to Trump"?
Oh, it's
maybe.
Tucker.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, it's Tucker. Like, especially if you see the way that Fox News is running this lawsuit against Dominion Voting, now being busted for hiding evidence and all these other things. Fox is truly operating like it has FU money, and that's how it operates. It does not care. So it's not out here to let me make sure that Tucker Carlson is taken care of. No, that's a Tucker issue. So I feel very confident that Tucker was the one saying, you know what, we need to offer a spot to Donald Trump so I do not lose my viewership, because if I do, that means I lose my power.
Well, the one thing about Donald Trump, it is about his power and also the loyalty to him. We remember all these things he said when he was running for president and when he was president. This is one of those moments I feel like Tucker remembers. Watch this.
Hey, he's the head of a country, and I mean, he's the strong head. Don't let anyone think anything different. Right. He speaks and his people sit up at attention. I want my people to do the same.
There, Trump was talking about Kim Jong-un and how he likes people to sit up in attention when he's talking. And obviously you saw that from Tucker Carlson and trying to continue to get back into those good graces. I mean, if he ever left it in the first place, because I figure Trump only really cares about promoting himself, which I think worked out. Though, again, during this interview, this is one of the moments that stuck out to me, though. Since we're talking about Kim Jong-un and the way that people have to stand up in attention for him, Trump also made sure to let Tucker know, you almost messed this whole thing up for me. Watch.
Kim Jong-un, you went with me on a trip. You insulted him, which didn't make my life too easy, but that's okay. But you were there, one of the few. And It was an amazing, it had to be one of the most incredible experiences for you.
For sure.
Yo, you almost messed this up for me, fool. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. My bad. Oh my God, my fault. And then it was one of the most amazing trips of your life, wasn't it, Tucker? Oh yes, totally was. It was. Is this an interview? Is this I don't know. First off, again, everyone knows what it was. We saw the narratives coming from people who were thinking clearly. Again, he was looking to get back in those graces. And whatever Trump said to him, it was, yes, you're right. Oh, my God, I apologize. I almost screwed this whole thing up. How is Tucker saying whatever he's going to say about Kim Jong-un going to screw up what Donald Trump would be doing with Kim Jong-un? Kim Jong-un would associate this Fox journalist directly with Donald Trump as having the same brain? I thought that's probably something they don't want to be pushing to many folks. There's one more piece here, and it's a little bit separate from that. But again, this apologies, he's pushing back for stepping out of line is just something that he's making sure he's all about here. One last part here. So he's talking about then the arraignment. Oh, this is my favorite part of the whole thing. I'm sure you guys have seen it, but let's just watch.
And I'll tell you, people were crying. People that work there, professionally work there, that have no problems putting in murderers, and they see everybody. It's tough place. And they were crying. They were actually crying. They said, I'm sorry. They'd say, 2024, sir, 2024. And tears are pouring down their eyes. I've never seen anything like those people are phenomenal. Those are your police.
Yep.
Those are the people that work at the courthouse. They're unbelievable people. Many of them were in tears or close to it. Many apologists were sorry, sir. We're sorry.
Adrian, this fantasy land that Donald Trump lives in, it's only become reality because MAGA is living the things that he tells them to live. I believe the only person with tears streaming down their faces crying about Trump being indicted and arraigned was one Lindsey Graham, got to be honest.
Yeah, I think that is a very, very fair conclusion. It's just interesting how completely and totally adept Trump is at revisionist history. It's like he lives in a world that no one else does, and it's so incredibly flattering for him, and just it's so positive. And it's kind of like, I really wish I lived in that delusional world that he does. But the thing is, it's so weird to me also because we know he does not live in this world by virtue of how insecure and also how anxious and paranoid he is about people coming after him or thinking things of him. And so we know that he is boldly lying and that he is doing this intentionally, and that the delusion is not something that is homegrown and something that is going on at all times. Rather, this is something that is concocted for the cameras.
I wonder if there was a conversation, like if Trump texted him, called him and said, Tucker, are these texts true? You have some explaining and some making up to do. Hurry up.
I think he's a very bold person. I think he did. I think he said what the score was off camera, and it put Tucker Carlson in a position where he had to CYA. But it's so interesting, as I tell people, what you do behind closed doors, you should be willing to do out in public, because as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to say something, say it with your chest. But Tucker Carlson isn't somebody, as we know, who practices any sort of integrity.
I thought they were alpha males, but he did say, and it should always be repeated, I hate him passionately.